to the first pre-match drills of 2025. On the show this week, we catch up with Gideon Codra. Dave Cronin, the Pompey fan, speaks to us to preview our FA Cup third round tie at Adams Park, and we revisit an FA Cup classic between the two sides from Fratton Park from the other year. But first, let's catch up with the gaffer. Gaffer, the magic of the FA Cup. We've got the FA Cup board back out, especially. It's
good.
Magic FA Cup. Excited for Friday?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Just, it's a third round of the FA Cup. Doesn't happen, every season. So for us to be a part of it and against, a really historic club like Portsmouth, they'll travel really well. I'm sure behind the goal they'll be very loud. And for us, it'll be a really good spectacle. And we hope it's a great game.
It's a home tie as well, which looking at Pompey's form this season, albeit in the Championship, they've struggled on the road, and I guess when you have the FA Cup draw, when you're watching it, you want a home tie, don't you?
Yeah, number one is you want to be at home if you possibly can, which is great for us. Portsmouth had some real good results recently, and really now establishing themselves in the Championship. We've spoken about Moose before. He's done a great job at Portsmouth, so they're acclimatising well. They're really finding their feet in the Championship. We know, last year from being at our level that they're a top team, so it's going to be a really tough game for us.
Lots of links here, and the managers being one. Obviously a former teammate of yours, former player for Wycombe Wanderers, but he's done a fantastic job, hasn't he?
Yeah, incredible. I just think he's a great guy, Moose. Obviously, I've known him a number of years, and I just think he's a real top guy. Done a great job at Portsmouth since he took over. Like I say, they've established themselves in the Championship, really finding their feet now. Getting promoted last year was just an amazing achievement for him, and his first full season as a manager was fantastic. So, really good. Obviously, with Fred being there as well, who was great for us last season. I'm sure you're about to ask me about Fred as well. Brings a smile to our faces. The way he really imprinted himself on our club over that season on loan from West Ham. Came in as a lad who hadn't played a league game and really kind of, really established himself in our team. So, yeah, some nice links, and we're looking forward to seeing those guys.
You must take an element of pride watching Freddie Potts putting in good performances in the Championship, because like you say, senior debut with us, and it's a big step from League One to the Championship.
Yeah, it is.
He's settled in well.
Yeah, it is, and huge. And I'm not surprised. I'm absolutely not surprised. I spoke to John and Moose about him in the summer, and he asked my opinion. I said, absolutely. If you have the opportunity to take him, then take him, because he's a great lad. And I knew that he would look to find ways to make himself better, to adapt to the level. And obviously Moose and John Harley and Zesh, they're great guys, and they'll have worked hard with Fred as well and improved him as well along the way. So yeah, I was in no doubts that he would establish himself for that level, because I believe he can go on even further.
And we're talking to a Pompey fan on the show today as well. They've been worried about West Ham maybe taking him back, and obviously that's something we know about too. Yeah,
absolutely. It's part of the loan, isn't it? It's the concern of the loan is that you have them only guaranteed for half a season, and it's great to hear that the Portsmouth fans are thinking about Fred the way we did this time last year, worried about whether he was going to stay or go back. So I'm really pleased that he's performing for them like he did for us.
Been a lot of games, a lot of home games as well. A chance for rotation and chances runners for minutes.
Yeah, necessity as well. I think we lost a couple of boys that returned on loan. We've got some injuries. We've got lots of illness around the place as well. So yeah, there'll be some changes because of the schedule. 6th game in 16 days makes that happen. But also it's an opportunity. I'm really excited about the couple of the opportunities that are going to be presented tomorrow evening, and some of the boys we're looking forward to watching play. So yeah, we need the freshness. We need energy on the pitch. Whenever we're at our best, we have energy and freshness and intensity. So tomorrow evening gives us a really good chance to do that, and there's a few of them that I'm really looking forward to playing.
There's another new signing as well. We had Sonny playing the other night on the day that he joined and straight into the team, but a new signing this week as well. And in Anders, this looks to be the first signing of a new approach of recruitment.
Yeah, it is. A really big moment for us as a football club to be able to recruit from abroad. We've spoken a lot about the analytics that the club are using moving forward, and Anders seems like a real good guy. Wants to settle in really quickly. Obviously, hasn't been playing regular football recently, so we'll have to try and embed him as quickly as we possibly can. But it's a really big moment for us as a football club, and something we're really pleased about.
Tell us a bit about him, because in Norway, where he's been playing, their league season finishes at a different time to us. So you said he hasn't been playing regular football, but it's not been that long, has it?
No. So the league season finished, but then he's been playing European football. So he's had a game every couple of weeks that finished around 3 weeks ago. So he's been away on holiday. So he's had a couple of weeks rest, but he's also in tip-top shape. You can tell he's a proper professional. He's looking after himself. So he's been training with us this morning, and we're looking to have him involved tomorrow evening if we can.
I'm sure our fans will be licking their lips at your comment just then. He's been playing European football again. something we're not used to hearing when it comes to recruitment?
No, it signals a real big change for us as a football club to be able to recruit these kind of guys, doesn't it? You know, we're used to loans and free transfers and small fees if we possibly can. That's been us as a football club, but being able to bring Anders in and you know, the level he's been playing at and the calibre of footballer he is obviously a real big moment for us.
And then back to the cup then, so third round and a really good opportunity then to progress further. Yeah,
it is. It's a tough game against high league opposition, but there'll be no pressure on us because of that. But it's a real good game. You know, we had 2 real good games up against Portsmouth last year. Unfortunately for us, just came out on the wrong side of them both times. But we really believe in what we're doing. We've got some fresh energy in the team, and it's a game we're looking forward to, mate.
And then next week, no midweek game, and after the schedule recently, I think that's pretty much needed for you guys as well as the players.
Yeah, I think it is. You know, the schedule's been incredible. I've never known it like it, but the boys have been, you know, even after the game on Tuesday, I spoke to them, we hit all 3 KPIs again. They were all green for us. So in terms of performance and chance creation, it wasn't a perfect performance, but in terms of chance creation, it was all there for us. We just weren't quite clean enough at the top of the pitch, but you know, you can't fault the lads in terms of their effort and intensity and the way they're implementing what we're asking for them to do, you know, to put your boots on and shin pads every 3 days so consistently over 16 days is not an easy thing for them to do, and they've done great. I'm so proud of the group, and we just want to make sure we finish with a flourish tomorrow evening and make sure we head into this week without a game with a spring in our step.
Great to hear from the gaffer. Gideon Codra got one of his 2 goals for Wycombe Wanderers this season in the FA Cup. So we speak to him ahead of the game against Pompey. Gideon, FA Cup, what does it mean to you as a player, this competition?
It means a lot. As we were talking about before, like, it does bring good memories, and it does bring the best out of every single player on the pitch. But yeah, it's an important cup, not just to me, but I think to everyone. And yeah, going into the next round, hopefully we win. I feel like we will win because everyone's mood is pretty high right now, especially just to keep going really, because we lost last game, so get back on winning form. So yeah.
You got your 2 goals this season. First senior goal in the league, and then you followed that up quickly afterwards with a goal in the FA Cup. Mm-hmm. And it often happens sometimes that players do tend to score in different rounds of the FA Cup. You must be hopeful going into this one.
No, it's a good feeling, man. And hopefully coming back from injury, I can get another goal behind me, which should be good just to set me off again and get back on a good run. Yeah.
How frustrating was that injury? Because you kind of burst into the team, got your goals and it was buzzing, and then injuries come. There's never a good time for injury, I guess, but that must have felt frustrating.
Yeah, it is frustrating, but with the person I am, I've got to take positives from it. I didn't really rest in the summer as much as I should have. So I feel like this time probably gives me a bit of rest and to just recover and improve on my game, really, on the outside. So, yeah.
And there's been some excellent cameos off the bench recently as well. Now you're back to fitness. Talk to me a bit about being around the squad here again as well. You know, we've got senior pros and players that have played at a high level as well that you're training with day in, day out. How is it here?
No, it's the best. Around the training ground, you can see it, everyone's just laughing. It's literally the best environment. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Everyone here is so warming and just, yeah, all good.
And from a professional point of view, having the likes, I guess, of Gareth McCleary, Philip Dimmer around, you know, that your contemporaries, your teammates, also they can help guide you, right?
Yeah. Gareth's been guiding me since I joined from last season and hasn't stopped really. So yeah, and plus Fred's coming in now. Yeah, he's literally been talking to me every day. So yeah.
And I'm sure if we ask Gareth McCleary, he'd probably say that people like you keep him on his toes.
yeah, because I'm a bit on him sometimes. So yeah, he's got to be.
Let's talk a bit about Portsmouth, because they've got Freddie Potts, obviously a person you know very well indeed, from your time at West Ham together, and also now at Wycombe, and you're back at Wycombe. Freddie's at Pompey in the Championship. Be good to see him again?
Yeah, good to see familiar faces. Hopefully he's on the losing team, and yeah, got to talk to him after the game really.
But you must look at someone like Freddie and think, okay, good loan spell in League One, and then progressing up a level as well. It's a good sort of role model, I guess.
Yeah, of course, especially because we shared pre-season together, and we were literally talking about last season. So yeah, it's really good, and I'm happy for him really.
And what do you reckon if he's playing on Friday night and you're on the pitch too? How's that going to work?
As I said, hopefully he's on a losing team and we're on a winning team. So
up for the cup, Wycombe Wanderers in third round action Friday night against our old friends Portsmouth, which means we get to chat to our old friend Dave Cronin, the Pompey fan. Dave, I didn't think I'd be speaking to you this season, but the cup has brought us together. How wonderful.
The magic of the cup. Is this I think this is my third time or fourth time. So do I get a badge or something? Or?
Yeah, you get like a signed football by us at Wycombe here. Yeah.
Magic.
You can just have the football if you don't want our signatures on it, mate. It's fine.
Oh, no, it's fine. Like a devalued football is fine.
So let's talk about Pompey, because Championship, you got out of League One last season, something that we're looking to do this year.
Yeah.
It's been a slowish start, but looking at the table, you're out of the relegation zone by one place, and I guess you take that on the final day of the season, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought we might come into the new year like stuck in the bottom three, but our home form is helping us at the moment and our away form's bad. We had a narrow defeat to Sunderland a few days ago, and I think we actually looked better with 10 men than we did with 11, to be honest, but I thought we were going to get spanked, so it's each game as it comes, really.
And is this about on par for where you thought you'd be? Because we know it's a big step going from from League One into the Champ. So the fans are behind John Mousinho and fully on board with what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't heard anything. Obviously you see stuff on social media, but that could be been written in Russia or China for all I know. But I think that there's a lot of everyone's behind them still. We knew it was going to be a challenge. Obviously, people were thinking like we're going to do an Ipswich, but I think people like the reality of it. We're never going to do anything like that, and staying in the league has to be the priority. I think we're a Championship team, to be honest, and if we stayed up, I think we could make some ground next season. I don't see us winning it or anything, but I think we can hold our own at some point once we get a feel for it.
Certainly a Championship club, size of the fan base, the stadium. You mentioned the home form. Fratton Park is always a fearsome place to go. So I was quite pleased when the draw came out that you're coming to us.
Yeah, yeah. But I was going to ask you: is this the cup tie that both teams don't want? Is this the cup run that we're not looking for?
Well, I guess I know what you're driving at here. If you were to offer Wycombe fans automatic promotion from League One and defeat in the third round of the FA Cup, we'd take it. And we offered you guys survival in the Championship and being knocked out in the third round of the FA Cup, you'd take that as well, I guess. I think that's where you're coming from, right?
Yeah, totally. Because like you've had a little bit of a wobble, haven't you? I think you lost at home the other night, and we've been really hit by injuries. Like we've been unlucky. I think we've been a little bit naive as well with the, in hindsight, with some of the summer signings. But yeah, I think that we'd love to stay in the Championship, and as much as hopefully you believe it, I'd love to see you sort of be back in the Championship as well. I'd love to be playing you again because it's a really sort of quick game, quick journey for me.
But we've got to be serious about the FA Cup because you guys won it, obviously not that long ago in the late noughties. A bit before that, not many years before that, we got to the semi-final. So we do know that the magic of the FA Cup exists, and it can also go hand in hand with a successful league campaign. So in all seriousness, I think we'd all love to win it on Friday. Yeah,
I think so. I wanted to win the FA Cup once in my lifetime, and I managed to do it. 17th of May 2008. Last day I had a drink as well. I haven't had a drink since that day.
Wow.
And we were lucky enough to, the season we got relegated in 2010, we went back when we unexpectedly beat Spurs in the semi-final at Wembley, and we lost narrowly to Chelsea in the 2010. So yeah, it's always amazing to have those runs, but that's a long time ago now, and it feels like a totally different team, you know, like set up and structure and everything. You know, we've had some non-existent owners in between that period.
And there's been some dark days as well down the bottom of League Two. I remember playing you guys when we were in League Two, near the bottom, and some pretty weird games, some pretty scrappy 0-0s and 1-0s. But you've come a long way back as well.
Yeah, I think the Pompey Trust have to take the credit for that, because they, you know, even though we didn't fix it on the pitch immediately, we fixed it in the background financially. I think we paid off our debt 12 months earlier than they budgeted for. So to have that stability and then hand it over to the Eisners in pretty good shape. And to be fair to the Eisners, they've invested a good amount of money in the right places. And I think we just need a little bit more budget for a squad. And you know, we'll be making the progress, but yeah, it's a lot better than it was. The great thing about being in the bottom league was being was the cheap ticket price.
Yes, gets expensive in the Championship. Right, we've got you talked about the squad. There may be squad rotation on both teams this weekend. We've got to ask you about Freddie Potts. We love Freddie. You know, we had a great season with him. How's he getting on in the Championship?
He's doing really well. We see a lot. Again, I've seen a lot of social media about him. There's a lot of West Ham posts at the moment saying we should have, like, you know, they want him back because I heard that he was a bit of a hero for you. In the last 3 or 4 games, I've seen comments from people, and from what I've seen as well, where he's been man of the match and he's solid. And we had it with Ben Thompson a few years ago when we had him on loan, I think from Millwall, and everyone fell in love with him. And yeah, if we could keep Potts until the end of the season, I think that'd be amazing. But yeah, he's a good one.
So there's the loan window does offer up these sort of weird sort of scenarios. Do they stay? Do they not? Will you be expecting a change side from what would have played in the league? I know you lost at Sunderland. You've got some big league games coming up. Are you expecting many changes, or is John Mousinho going to go full strength and look to build momentum?
I don't know. It depends on who we've got available. We've got so many injuries at the moment. So, like, we haven't got the depth. When we were just speaking before this call, like we've signed. I think we've got the guy in from Newcastle now. We've got, is it Rob Atkinson in from Bristol City, and he came on against Sunderland, and you know, he looked like he's a big unit, and I think here comes straight in. I think he needs some minutes on the pitch to get his fitness back. So whether he can do 90 minutes or not, but I think that's going to be interesting. I don't think it'll be a full squad because we've got our eyes on other games. But I think it'll be a competitive team that we put out there. That's for sure.
Well, there we go. A Friday night under the lights at Adams Park. It's going to be cold. Hopefully, we're all warmed by a scintillating game of FA Cup football. Dave, always a pleasure to speak to you. We wish you all the very best for this season, apart from Friday night, obviously.
Yeah, and likewise, you know, I'm talking to you from Wycombe at the moment. I sincerely hope, like, Wycombe go up this season. I'd love to be playing you again, just not for my own benefit of travel, but, you know, I love the structure of the club, you know, the relationship that obviously I've got with you, but I think it's a really well-run club, and you deserve Championship, so good luck on that.
Well, cheers, Dave. May the best team win on Friday. Take care. Pompey won the FA Cup in the late noughties. Wycombe Wanderers got to the semi-final of the famous old competition at the beginning of the century, and we also played Pompey a few years back in the FA Cup too. Here's what happened.
A tie between sides at opposite ends of League Two at Fratton Park, as 5th place Portsmouth hosted the club in 21st position, Wycombe Wanderers. And it was the visitors who started the better. Matt Bloomfield, in his 14th season with the Chairboys, unlucky to see his effort come back off the upright. Portsmouth won the corresponding fixture 4-2 in the league back in September, but found the visitors a different proposition today. Paris Cowan Hall capitalised on David Ford's error to give Wycombe a deserved lead. The 2008 winners failed to register a shot on target in the first period, but pulled themselves level just 2 minutes after the restart. Gareth Evans finding a perfect finish to end a Stevens cross. Paul Cook's team were more of a threat in the second period, and midfielder Carl Baker brought the best out of Chelsea loanee Jamal Blackman. But it was the visitors who eventually found the breakthrough. Former AFC Wimbledon striker Adebayo Akinfenwa, nicknamed the Beast, living up to his moniker with a towering header. The hosts chased an equaliser and almost forced a replay with the last chance of the tie. But Stevens couldn't find the target, much to Gareth Ainsworth's relief. Wycombe deservedly through to round 2.
That's it for this week's show. Wrap up warm and head down to Adams Park on Friday night for some FA Cup magic against Pompey. If you can't make it, it's not on Wanderers TV to stream, but the audio is available. In the meantime, come on you Blues.